Well, I'm going to start with my own story, and that's stepping into the CEO role in May. I think that's been a really big change on a personal level for myself and obviously the team. But I'll just take the opportunity to thank Joe, the previous CEO, and then at the end of the year, Rob Biancardi retired as well as chairman. So just thank them for their roles over the last numbers of years building the company. Moving into that role would be top. Seeing Kelvin step up into the CFO role and sort of cascading through the company. It's been great to see the team really taking on new responsibilities. But in terms of project development, really two big things this year. It's been the advancement on the refinery, our agreements with Iwatani, feedstock agreements with Glencore, all the work we've been doing on offtake. So that's been excellent to see progress. And more recently, progress in Broken Hill Technology Centre as we look to do recycling of black mass from batteries. And that's a great opportunity for us as we go forward. Well, I think at the heart of it, we're a minerals processing company, and I think our highlight has been finally reaching the cobalt sulfate specifications for the battery market. It's taken a long time to get there, and we've had confirmation from our potential partners there that we're getting the right specs, and at the same time also making cobalt metal alloy grade. So that's been a really great achievement on the technology front, being able to make those high purity products after many years of process development. Well, closely following stakeholders, we realised that we've just completed a capital raise that was successfully completed. So that was excellent. That puts us in a great position going forward. Cash on hand is very healthy, and that'll be reported in our quarterly report. There will always be many types of battery chemistries, but I think our view and the market view is that if you want high performance batteries, particularly in electric vehicles, you'll be using cobalt for many, many years to come. But cobalt is has a very particular role. The role is really about management of heat as opposed to energy transfer. So it's a really safety concern, and especially people would realise in New South Wales that there's been over 100 fires from low quality batteries, and cobalt is one of those metals that's essential for safety in batteries, particularly when you talk about those small batteries, e-mobility batteries for scooters, drones, robots, UAVs, those sorts of things. Cobalt will continue to have a very strong demand. So there's really no future that we see where there's no cobalt in batteries, but we think it's going to be in particular markets where people value safety and they value energy to density. So high performance batteries is where cobalt has its favorite position. I'd say emphatically no, we've never given up on that. Listeners need to realize that commodity prices move up and down, and yes, of course, the last few years cobalt has been down a bit. So naturally we've reduced the work output on that project. Now that cobalt price is sitting up around $25 a pound, it's the hottest commodity this year. It's rebounded from $10 to $25 a pound. We're very keen to continue pushing on that project. So like any large project development, you need to match the momentum with market conditions, and the conditions are ripe for us to really push ahead, and we've got a big year planned on that project. Cobalt is one of those commodities that's, for a better term, regulated. This year we've seen the DRC government step in and regulate the supply of cobalt leaving their country. Because the DRC provides nearly 70 to maybe 75% of global cobalt supply, they're in a position as a government to intervene into the market and see that regulation. This happens across all the commodities. I won't go into the details of the other commodities, but it's a pretty common phenomena. What are we seeing as a company? We believe that cobalt price will be regulated generally between 20 and 30 US dollars a pound. We understand from the downstream market above 30, we start to see a bit of demand destruction. People try to substitute it or minimize the use. And below 20 US dollars a pound, there just isn't enough revenue or profitability up and down the supply chain. So where we believe as a company that it's going to be between those markers, between 20 and $30, there will be excursions above and below that, but we think that's a reasonably sustainable price long term. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for supporting us over those many years. Now, obviously that number includes a number of supporting grants and other R&D benefits that we've been able to receive from the federal government. So I just want to acknowledge that. But yes, you're right. Big projects like the Broken Hill Cobalt Project, the Broken Hill Technology Centre, they cost quite a lot of money and investment. So I think it's very clear for us and our listeners to realise that these projects do have a long lead time and they're very costly to bring into production. But we are really hoping to be able to bring some of them into commercial production soon. I think for the key shareholders, we have next year lined up the Broken Hill Technology Centre, aiming to bring that online fairly soon with some battery black mass recycling, and hopefully we'll be able to generate some revenues from that. But obviously the near-term story for us is all about the refinery in Kwinana. And if we can bring that online, then we're looking at sort of a $25 to $35 million free cash flow per year. So really hoping to get that online as soon as we can. Well, as we look forward, it's always good just to pause and put it into context. I think for 2025, we've really seen a turnaround in the fortunes of the company. We've had cobalt price underpinning that momentum shift, and I think we've had such great progress on the refinery with the different contracts and partners in place. So as we look forward, the key things for us is getting to FID on refinery, and for that we need our binding offtake agreements. We're well advanced in negotiations, but always it's very hard to know when they will come to fruition, but we are in deep discussions on that. And I think out of those offtake agreements, then we'll be able to secure the funding for the project. So they're really our two big goals, offtake and funding for the Kwinana refinery. Well, if I just run through those quickly and we'll go one by one. So refinery, we want to get to FID over the next 6 months or so. And as I just said, we need offtake agreements and then the project financing support. For the Broken Hill Cobalt Project, we're anticipating being ready to submit our permit applications in the next 6 months. For the Broken Hill Technology Centre, we want to commence operations there for the battery black mass. So there's a little bit of upgrading and capital equipment that we need to put in there. And then our last project is a Halls Creek project, and we want to advance some of the silver recovery work on that project.